Hello guys and welcome back, and after finishing first and second chapter we are going to start third chapter according to your syllabus, and that is heat. So in this lecture we are going to discuss what is heat and temperature and how can we differentiate heat and temperature in terms of energy as well as various factor. So first one is our heat. So what is heat? And you know the definition of heat. Heat is the form of energy which gives sensation of warmth. So heat is a form of energy. So form of energy which gives sensation of warmth. So heat is a form of energy which gives the sensation of warmth. So heat is a form of energy. It means that heat is a type of energy. Type of energy. So we have to remember, so what is the principle of energy? So principle of energy is that it can't be created and it can't be destroyed, but it can be transformed from one form to another forms. So as heat is a form of energy or type of energy, so it means heat can't be created, can't be destroyed, but it can be transferred into other forms like mechanical energy, electrical energy, and other etc. energy. So heat can't be created and can't be destroyed, but it can be transferred into various energy. So, and you know the heat is warmth. Heat gives the warmth to a substance. It means it makes substance hot. So when a substance is hot, warmth, we say that that substance or body contain heat, and heat is measured by an instrument, and that instrument is called calorimeter. And so the heat is measured by a device, and that device is called calorimeter. And you know that when a heat is supplied to a body, suppose here object body, so when a heat is supplied to a body, so here the temperature of the body is changes. So when a heat is supplied to a body, then the temperature of the body is changes. So it means that heat is the causes of temperature. So heat is the causes of temperature. So totally from this idea, what we say that heat is the causes of temperature. If we supply the heat to a body, then temperature gets increased, and if we remove the heat from this body, then temperature get totally decreased. So the heat is the causes of the temperature. Now sir, what is the mechanism behind this? How the temperature of the bodies changes by the supplying of heat? So you know, each body is consist of large numbers of molecules. So inside this body there is a presence of molecules. So there are lots of molecules here. So this body contain lots of molecules, that is A, B, C, D, here etc etc, lots of molecules. So when we supplied from here heat, so initially these molecules are in rest. Listen here. So these molecules are in rest. So when we supplied some amount of heat energy, so these molecules start to vibrate. It means that simply say, so these molecules start to move. So due to this movement there is a presence of type of energy, and that type of energy is called kinetic energy. So it means that this body contains kinetic energy. So totally due to supply of heat, these molecules start to vibrate or start to rotate, and due to which this body contains kinetic energy. So the as more amount of heat is supplied here, then more kinetic energy is produced, and the if more kinetic energy is produced, and so the more temperature will be here seen. So the more temperature here will be seen, because in terms of kinetic energy, so what can we define heat? In terms of kinetic energy, heat can define as the average kinetic energy, the total kinetic energy possessed by body. So the total here, how much total, so total kinetic energy contained of all molecules is called heat energy. So heat in terms of energy, so here total kinetic energy, so how much these molecules possess energy, so the sum of all the kinetic energy is called heat energy. But temperature means average. Each molecule possesses how much average energy, kinetic energy, and that is called temperature. So there is a main difference between heat and temperature is here in terms of kinetic energy. So temperature is the average kinetic energy possessed by a body. Clear or not? So how much these each molecules possess energy, that is average and kinetic energy possessed by a body, is called its temperature. But when you add all the energy, kinetic energy contained by a system's molecules, and that is called heat energy. So there is a big difference between heat and temperature. Now, in which factor does the heat contained by body is depends on which factor does the heat contained by our body depends on. So it is depends on two factor, that is the number of molecules. So the number of molecules, so simply the number of molecules, it means the mass of body. So more the mass, more the number of molecules. And second one is our the average kinetic energy of the molecules. So the heat contained by a body or systems generally depends on two factors. That is, first one is the number of molecules, that is mass of the bodies. How much the mass? If the more the mass, then it contain more heat energy. And second one, the average kinetic energy of the molecules. It means that finally our heat is directly proportional to mass of body and average kinetic energy of molecules. So heat energy is directly proportional to mass of body, average kinetic energy of the molecules. So these factors when increased, mass of body is increased and average kinetic energy of molecules increased, then the heat or contained by that substance or body totally increased. So totally depends on two factors. So these are all about the heat. And heat is a energy, forms of energy. So the what is the unit of heat? So SI unit of heat, that is SI unit, our joule, and the CGS unit, calorie. So in heat is measured in SI unit, that is in joule, and in CGS system or CGS unit, calorie. So there is a relation between the joule and calorie. Yes. So 1 calorie is equals to 4.2 joule, and this is experimentally derived, that is 1 calorie equals to 4.2 joule. And numerically very important for your numerical questions, that is 1 calorie equals to 4.2 joule. So this is all about the heat energy. And now talk about the temperature, that is the second topics of this. So heat, and first then one, temperature. So what is temperature? And you know definition of temperature, the degree of hotness or coldness of a body is called temperature. So the degree of hotness or coldness of a body is called temperature. So here definition says that temperature. So it means when you talk about temperature, it doesn't mean body totally heat. It may be cold. So degree of hotness or coldness of a body is called temperature. So the body is how much hot or how much cold is called temperature. But heat is totally hot. But temperature is the measure of the body, how much degree of the body, how much hot and how much cold, that is the temperature. And you know the temperature of the body depends on heat supplied. If more amount of heat supplied to a body, then more will be the temperature of that bodies, and less amount is heat supplied, then less the temperature. So the temperature of the body depends on heat supplied. And you know the temperature is measured by a device, and that is called thermometer. So the temperature of the body is measured by a device, and that is called thermometer, and its SI unit is Kelvin. And in CGS systems, in other drive system, it is also measured in, that is degree Fahrenheit, degree Celsius, and these are the fundamental units of temperature. So generally temperature are measured in Celsius, Fahrenheit, Kelvins, and normal human body temperature is 98.6 degree Fahrenheit and 37 degrees Celsius. So these are the all about heat and temperature, and I hope you know the difference between heat and temperature. And thank you for watching.